going on, Bob? It's me, John, and I just wanted to ask you a question. I had a friend ask me the other day about jealousy. She said jealousy is a big issue. Want to speak on that?
Well, first of all jealousy comes from insecurity. A person is only insecure when they experience the emotional state of jealousy. And it has to do with all the aspects that you and I always talk about. As a person grows up from a young child and has love withheld, that child is going to try to be creative and find ways to get loved. And it's going to observe the behavior of the parents and grandparents and their siblings and aunts and uncles, and they're going to watch how they get love and attention. And they're going to see that their parents suffer from the feeling of less than, because all of us on the planet suffer from that. And they go into the negative emotional state of jealousy for, given circumstances. And they're going to learn that that's an emotional state that gets you love. And so they're going to equate going into that state, forgetting what their soul and what their persona really desires, which is to be loved and to be accepted no matter what your bad points are or your good points are. Is just nothing but being accepted. And this is why one of the essential personality characteristics that we need to develop as humans, if we want to go on the fast track to higher consciousness, which means the fast track to oneness with Creator of all that is, which means the fast track to the end of suffering that we create for ourselves through our negative emotional patterns, we have to have acceptance. Without exception. Acceptance of all that is. And that means that if your significant other goes out on a dinner date with their ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, you don't get jealous, because you have understanding and acceptance of everything without exception. And this propels one up the ladder of higher consciousness, because that personality characteristic is essential to being able to climb the ladder of higher consciousness, to escape the pain of the physical world in which we are living. Even though the physical world in and of itself is an illusion. Nonetheless, it's an illusion that we think is real, because the memory of all that is has been removed from us through the reincarnation process. Can you imagine if you could remember all your past lifetimes and all the crazy ass shit that you've done, chopping somebody's head off in the 12th century with a sword, raping, pillaging, treating people like shit, being treated like shit. All the different things that has been experienced in all the hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes, if you had conscious understanding and recollection of all that, you'd be in a mental hospital. You could not handle the electricity of the vibrations of that information wouldn't jive with our physical bodies. We would go into a catatonic state. And so in order to try to overcome our karmas and our past and learn from the lessons through all of our incarnations, the memory of our past incarnations has to be removed so that at least we're free to deal with the here and now. And once we experience the here and now, we can start isolating the different issues we have to deal with. And one of them, which is detrimental to us, is jealousy. And we all feel it, and we all experience jealousy, but it matters how much do you immerse yourself in the energy of that emotional state at the time when you're experiencing that emotional state. Do you jump in with both feet and you just get so jealous you turn beet red and you want to kill, and it makes you go into the really far levels of negative energy? Or is it just minor within you? You feel a little insecure and you go, yeah, I know I'm feeling jealous over that, or whatever, or my spouse has a new friend and they're starting to spend more time with the new friend, so now I'm jealous of the new friend because I want the love. Even if you don't do anything about it, you're still experiencing the state of jealousy. And I guarantee you that in and of itself is going to, through the law of attraction, attract 100 other situations that are going to put you into the emotional state of jealousy. So people are then going to ask, okay, I understand that intellectually, but when it happens, how do I get myself out of that mode of jealousy? It's so habitual, it's such a habit, and I feel like I have no control over it. It just automatically happens. Well, that's a great question, because it could take several lifetimes for a soul to get over a deep-seated issue like jealousy. And this is the beauty of high-grade essential oils. They can really assist a person to alleviate such deep, dark, negative energy over their emotional selves by reversing their negative emotional patterns. And this is why the wise guys of the East brought Jesus essential oils. They knew the power and the energy that the creator of all that is put into everything that is, including plants. And so oils made from plants concentrates that life force energy in the oil, especially if it's done organically. And it transfers that power to the human through smell and through having it absorb in your skin and detoxifying the body physically. It also can detoxify the memory cells in the brain that, in the limbic part of the brain that store all of our emotional patterns that are taught to us. And if you can release the energy of the negative emotional patterns, you can then learn the lesson that you're supposed to learn to not put yourself into that negative state of being. And then you can start reversing that emotional pattern. Now, that's one of the only ways I know, other than to just constantly be aware whenever you go into jealousy, go, uh-oh, there I am, I'm going into jealousy, and then constantly ask yourself, why am I doing that? And the answer always comes back, because that's what I was taught to do. Well, okay, teach yourself another way. Teach yourself another emotion to go into in those same circumstances. Become your own parent. Throw your parents' parenting out. Go, okay, they didn't do a good job on that one. I have to do it myself, okay. You know, grow up and pull your big boy pants on, as Judge Milian says. You know, and then you start parenting yourself. And that's why we talk about the inner child, because you are parenting the inner child within you. And the reason why the Bible talks about